Hey nerds, join us on Discord and hit that subscribe button.
Hello, I'm Flynn.
Sika.
Thessaly.
Oma.
Kellic.
And I'm your DM, Seth. Welcome to Venture Forth. When last we left our heroes, out of the boughs of the raging woods, the party made their way ever closer to the destination they had at the end of their road, Oakengait Monastery. As you traveled, you became more acquainted with your ranger friend Griff, learned a bit more about each other, and as you settled down for your first evening's rest, did battle with the frigid servants of Boreas, the Lord of the North Wind. The battle took a quick turn as the freezing breath of the elementals laid low one of your own, catching Seeker's breath within his lungs and sending him toward an icy, prolonged sleep. But thanks to some good eyes and the ever-present healing power of your friend Kellic, you were saved from a cold and frigid death. In the aftermath, questions arose as to why these creatures may have sought you out, where they came from, and you were perhaps left with more questions than answers as you all settled down in the wake of the battle to complete your evening's rest. Thessaly and Kellic once again danced around the edge of something felt but unspoken, while Flynn was summarily shut down by Griff when asked to learn about the primeval magic of the Stoic Ranger. But eventually, you all completed your rest, awoke once more, and continued your climb into the peaks, until eventually, as you crested one final rise, you looked down below to see the twinkling lights of the Oakengait Monastery and Oakengait Village around it, spread out in the valley below. As we return to this moment, you all stand upon the rise. You can see in the sort of slightly lessening dim of the long eve, you see these twinkling lights of this small sort of village space spread out below you. You see the sanctuary sort of at the far back nestled amongst the peaks, and you see the sort of river that runs through. You can just barely hear the sound of the waterfalls on the eastern edge of this valley as the water falls from higher up on the peaks and makes its way gently bisecting the valley below. But we come back to this moment, you all standing on this rise as Griff sort of shoulders his pack, breathes deeply, and looks around at all of you. Well, almost there.
You ready, Alma?
I'm like towing my boot into the ground. Yeah, I guess.
We're here with you.
We're not going anywhere.
Cutting daggers at Brim with my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Is she going to be safe here?
Of course.
If anyone there were to try to hurt her.
I understand.
And not.
You have an extra strategy anyway, just in case, right?
Aye.
We're fine.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of like the pat to
Just
Seeker.
remember, it's pretty close range, so get close to me if things go south. We need to get out.
As long as I don't fall. Look at Oma.
Yeah, as long as you don't fall. Just take care of yourself.
We put a bell on you or something?
No.
That would defeat.
Totally
No.
counterproductive.
Well, I mean, you could just like, I don't know, cover the bell. I don't know.
It's like
No, Flynn.
Just shake my head.
And just starts walking down the path as it sort of gently like switches back and forth.
And just give Alma a gentle pat as we're heading down the mountain.
I put my hood up.
Okay. All right.
Do you go?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Put
And
your
I
hood up.
grip Kellic's robe.
All right. You vanish from sight. And
I don't want to be perceived.
all right. You guys sort of go down the rise. And eventually at the bottom, you see as you get closer and closer now, and something I did forget to mention, like as you approach the monastery itself, and probably over the last like hour or two, in fact, a path has begun to emerge, like a very clear, followable path. Not wide, maybe no wider than two people maybe can walk abreast at a time, maybe 3 Flynns. but but you all sort of have seen this path emerge, and as you get up to this rise, you do sort of take these switchbacks that appear as if they were built into the side of the mountain, and you eventually, as you get closer and closer, you see sort of emerging from the dark in the very, very dim light, you see a wall that surrounds the entirety of the compound, and you see sort of up ahead of you as you approach this wall, Olma, you see the familiar sight of the Oakengait. You see this massive timbered gate that is sort of sits within these huge granite walls, and then sort of almost like carved out of and into the wall, you see these two massive black oak trees that sort of spread their branches out, lending both shade and sort of almost like a protective measure over the gates themselves. You can see sort of off to the side, and every so often at intervals, there's probably like a 3-story tall tower where you can see there's one sort of near the gate, and as you walk by, you just see Brim kind of like he casts the produce flame and like holds it near his head, and then just sort of waves up at the gate. The gates do stand partially ajar. They're not completely open, but probably enough for a small cart to pass through, something like that. And you just hear like an affirmative call, like, "Hail, Brother Brim!" And he just kind of nods, and you guys walk through the gate, and you see Olma, the sort of familiar sight. You see sort of the occasional bits of houses. Off to the western edge is the farm where most of the monastery's foodstuffs are sort of grown. The irrigation ditches. You've probably spent a few days working those fields at one point or another. You could never tell if it was punishment or just training or part of whatever it was.
They never tell you.
Yeah, they never really do. Brother
cool.
Danewind was very non-specific. He's just like, go dig in dirt for a while.
Yeah.
It's good for your character.
Yeah.
But you do know that there is the one inn here at the Oakengait village where the various sort of travelers and the occasional person that does come to the monastery usually tends to stay. And Brim kind of turns to look for you, and then remember, he's like, right. And then he just kind of peeks respite. Just kind of says that out loud.
Yeah. Because it's pretty late and we've been walking all day.
Okay.
That's the inn.
All right.
I don't really think that the monastery will give us like a dorm or anything, so we should probably...
How long will it take us to get to this Brightwall of yours?
That's a great question.
Well, we should probably go to the Brightwall tomorrow after we've been given permission. It's kind of late.
Yeah, they might also have things closed. I don't know, but it
Is
might be
this the
bad.
last night of the long eve?
I think
Is
so.
it
Yes,
gonna
I
come
believe
tomorrow?
I think so.
It'll be Everdawn tomorrow.
Oh, well, there's not really any parties here, so we're not in the best place to
Well,
be.
When Brim turns to you, yeah, that's another thing that's kind of changed
Oh,
just in the last couple of years.
they don't just like meditate for the whole time and not really eat anything, and
That's part of it, and the monks do. Most of the monks do, but the village, they have some things.
really?
Yeah.
They were pretty quiet back in the day, but that might have just been because of, yeah.
Then he kind of shakes himself off.
So, is there gonna be a party tonight
Why don't we wait and see?
or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Weird. Everything's so different.
It's changed. Hopefully for the better for you.
We'll see.
Okay. Right. And Brim just sort of leads you guys deeper into the the village, and you see sort of cropping up. It's sort of sparsely, like there's lots of space. Nothing is really close together. Like houses kind of exist in their own little plots. There are not very many homes. It appears that the population here is maybe a few hundred people at most. So there's handfuls of houses, but eventually you cross over one of the two bridges that makes their way over this small river that kind of makes its way through the center of the valley, and come upon you cross over the southernmost bridge, basically the one directly in front of the gate here, and you eventually make your way up closer towards the sanctuary, and kind of rising out of the dark, you see sort of this small building, probably at a glance, what anywhere else would be considered a very modest inn. There's, you guess maybe there's 5-10 rooms tops in this place. But you see that a warm glow emanates from the windows. You sort of see the light kind of spilling out into the street. And eventually you all sort of make your way up the wooden steps and sort of hear the hollow thunk, thunk, thunk as each of your feet kind of mounts up to the wraparound porch that goes around the front and the exterior of this building. Cool. And you see, as you open the doors, you see again what could only be described as a very modest little inn that spreads out before you. You see, it immediately strikes you the number of things, for lack of a better term. The place is decorated with a strange hodgepodge, a mismatch of all kinds of different. There was no definitive theme to this place. It is like there's like weird accoutrement from all different. There's like seafaring stuff and mining equipment and agricultural equipment, and there's like random scarves strewn across different parts. There's shelves with oddities and trinkets that are sort of built into the walls. You see in the rafters there are all manner of like strange, just whether they're like devices or keepsakes, little toys and tops. It's just like this weird hodgepodge of all kinds of stuff that are just sort of jammed in every which way. There is, again, no cohesive look to it at all, and because of that, it looks whole and complete on its own. It is a very strange, disorganized appeal, for lack of a better term.
Sure, yeah.
You see, as you walk in, there are not very many patrons that are up and about. You do see two that stand out to you. You see a hulking, just huge, half-orc gentleman who is sort of curled over what looks like a steaming mug, and he's got a big book in front of him with these sort of big spectacles, like the half-rim spectacles, and he is sort of like curled in around himself over this book that he appears to be reading. And you can see he's got that steaming mug. He's wearing what looks like just sort of like plain traveler's robes, nothing too crazy. And no like visible weapons or accoutrement. Everything's very sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Simple, for lack of a better term. And then you also see sort of sitting off in another corner. You see an odd creature. You see a small, like mottled brown, feathered being with sort of a bright yellow beak. You see a kenku that is sort of huddled up in the corner, sort of just like odd, like kind of absent-mindedly, like spinning what looks like a big kind of ring of some kind in his hand. It just kind of seems to be sitting and enjoying just kind of the warmth and the ambiance. You see, and then behind the bar, you see a woman. And Oma, as you look to the bar, you see Rosie is behind the bar.
Gosh.
And
the legend.
She's just kind of like idly polishing, the various tankards and mugs. She's like wiping things off. But you see her, and she kind of looks up at all of you as you enter. She does not see you, of course. But she says, "Hello, dears. Welcome. Come. Oh, dear, it is late. Where where are you all coming from? And on the long eve, no less. Come. Are you hungry? What do you need?
Yeah.
I've like frozen in the doorway when I see her, and I'm still like gripping.
I feel my cloak stop as I start to move forward. Anima, come on. Everything all right?
I like run
Yeah.
into the I'm still invisible.
okay.
Still invisible. I run into that thing. I like leap over the bar and I just like throw my arms around Rosie's mid center.
Alma.
Was that Alma?
And, like, she's like,
Alma.
and she starts like patting, and then feels like something on her. She's like,
It's
She started like she started.
Yo,
Who?
yo,
What?
good.
Alma, take the hood off.
Invisible.
My arms are still
And
around.
you see, like, and she hears like Olma. She keeps hearing Olma as you guys are all shouting at her. Olma?
she's got. If you can find
There's a
the,
cloak.
she's in.
He
You gotta take
reaches
the hood
up
down.
and starts like
yeah.
as you got to take the hood down. You feel her hands sort of reaching up, and eventually she finds like your head,
Mhm.
and you feel her hands pull down the hood,
Mhm. And I'm just like buried in her stomach.
and she sees you, and she says, "Olma Mars, as I live and breathe," and she picks you up and just like hugs you so
Aw.
tight. And she's like, "Where have you been, my dear?
Everywhere, it feels like.
I didn't know what had become of you. Brother Dane winded that man." Ooh. And you see like a long an argument that has been brewing. And she grabs your face and she says, "Where? I never thought I'd see you again, my dear.
I never thought I'd be back.
Why have you come back? What do I owe? What? Are you back? Have you returned?"
I mean, I am here, but I haven't returned.
We may not be staying for long. It's up to Alma.
I don't like the sound of this already.
Well, my necklace is broken, and Brother Brim found us.
Brim. And he just like, he's like chagrined, and he's like, "Hi, Rosie. Yeah, that was me." He said, "Well, it's about time you did something useful, young man." And she has her spoon in her. She pulls it out and she shakes it at him. And she says, "You have brought one of my dearest friends back to me. My dear, so you've come back. Where have you been all this time?"
Well, when I left, I wandered for a little bit, and then I found people so I could travel with them.
Good people?
Sometimes.
I'll accept that for now.
She's in good company now.
Do we hear that? Yeah.
That remains to be seen, young man.
All right. Fair enough.
But come closer so I can get a good look at you. And she sort of puts her hair up in the bun, as I do as well. And she ties it back as she looks you all over very closely. She says, "Now, Oma, why don't you tell me who your friends are, and you can all sit down, and I'll bring you something to eat."
And drink,
That'd be lovely.
Yes.
With a please, Seeker.
please.
Well, this is Kellic, and I point to Kellic.
Uh-huh.
And he works for the temples in the past.
Are you trying to remember who I am, Alma?
No, you kind of don't do that anymore. But you used to.
Well, now we travel. But yes, I was a clergyman for a long time.
A clergyman of
Famir.
good.
What do I get from that? Yeah.
This woman is very much worships the old gods.
I mean, this is a lot like
So it's like
Laura.
a stern
There's a-
good.
yeah, like good. Like there is
As he
a
hides his arm.
no, there is a confirmation. As this, Brim has mentioned that this is a place that where Valaris is, if not worshipped, venerated, at the very least,
high esteem.
associated with.
Yeah.
And that while Rosie does not know about the Order of the Everseeing, that sentiment has permeated this place.
Right.
And despite its location within Kaldur, this is a very isolated place, one that perhaps is, has been insulated, I should say, from some of the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say familiar, she says good. There's like a slight bit of prejudice. I mean, she probably wouldn't. You don't get the sense that she would think less of you necessarily, but it's satisfaction.
But there's like a little bit of pride or something.
There's satisfaction there. Definitively. But sorry, go keep on.
And this is Flynn.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Flynn. Hi.
Flynn is a member of the.
Iron Light Collective.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, and I'll hold my hand out for a
Nice
handshake.
to meet you. I've had some of the Iron Light come through here before.
Really?
I have indeed. And she shakes your hand.
Still beats me how it's a secret organization.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
They are fond
I
of
met
telling
them in
people where they're from.
or just outside of Addersfeld. And then Seeker and Thessaly joined us later, and Seeker is kind of a clergyman-ish to Laurus.
No.
No?
No.
No, I am an agent
It's a
of
pretty
repair.
big stretch.
Agent of repair.
Yes.
My dear, what does that mean?
Oh, that's what we are.
I mean, we kind of
Thessaly.
named ourselves it.
You have a name?
Yeah.
We are the agents.
We have found ourselves a bit of a calling as a group, and that is to help mend the sundered boundaries of this world. That's what we're here to do. That's our aim.
And this is Thessaly, and I don't really know where she came from, but they're really nice, and they're very good with a sword, and sometimes they have wings.
I'm from East Haven, actually, if you know what that is.
No.
Great!
Wings.
Only in very particular situations, and they're new, so not something I
As long as you use those wings to keep my Oma out of trouble, that is all I need to know.
Ma'am,
And you'll be
there's
seeking
very
no more trouble now that I've got you back here.
Oh.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad that's settled.
I don't really seek trouble. It just kind of finds me.
Sometimes
We seek
Mama.
trouble a bit.
She says, Oma Marsk.
I'm just trying to help.
I know. Speaking of, why don't you come back and help me just like old times? Huh?
Okay.
Wondrous. And she grabs your hand and she says, I'll be right back. You all look hungry and thirsty. And she brings you back into the kitchen with her. She says, now what do we think of these people for real? Are they good?
Yeah, they're really nice most of the time.
Most of the time? I don't like that.
Yeah, they're super nice. No, they're good to meet. But sometimes, we're still figuring out things about Flynn. I think he needs to grow a little bit, and he may or may not be possessed.
Oh
so
my
we're
God.
just trying to figure that out. Or like signed a contract, or I don't know. We're trying to work it out. He's a nice person, but sometimes he does not make the best decisions.
I've known many men like that in my life.
Ah,
But we'll just have to keep an eye on him, won't we?
yeah.
Well, you're here now, where there are people who can keep you safe. So, I'm very glad of that. And I
Well,
can't
yeah.
believe you've been gone this whole time. It's so good to see you, my dear.
Oh,
And she
it's
just
good to
grabs your
see
little
you.
hands.
I never thought I'd be back.
I confess I hoped you would. Now, after Brother Danewind, at the ill-advised recommendation of that old Abbot Kane, as she bites back the explicative, she says, now I insisted to that man that he send every available resource out to find you, and from what I understand, he did, but they were never able to find you.
I don't know.
Things have changed very much here since you've left, my dear. For the better.
Yeah?
Very much. Brother Danewin's in charge now.
Well, that's good.
He's a stick in the mud. But a good man. I think. Sure, he's still a little bit out.
He was never mean.
He's harsh.
Yeah.
I think underneath all of that, there's something, but I haven't figured it out. He may just be a curmudgeon.
Maybe. But maybe that's what he has to do to keep everybody in line. is way better than Flynn's person in charge. She is not very nice to him.
Well, tell me more. She pulls you aside and she like starts, and you sit next to her,
Yeah.
and you go through the process, and like she basically begins preparing a meal, and immediately you two fall into like a
Right.
rhythm. Many nights when Alma was alone and didn't want to be alone,
Yeah.
and found Rosie in the kitchens within the monastery, and she's like chopping vegetables, and you're her little sous chef, and you start throwing things in. She's like, "Fetch that for me, will you, dear?" And she like runs you around, and you bring things over for her, and she says, "So now you've come back, and I just in time for the celebration tomorrow, no less. As I recall, tomorrow's your birthday."
Oh. Well, actually, I met the spirit of my house. My family's house. We call him Keeper.
Guys, this is Rosie. No holds barred.
And he told me when I was actually born. So I'm gonna celebrate my birthday on my real birthday instead of tomorrow.
Well, when's your real birthday?
The day of Embers. So in like half a year.
That's a celebration of peak summer.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Does it?
For you.
I guess it does.
Yeah.
I should think so.
Yeah.
You've always had far more attitude than I ever thought could fit into a 12-year-old girl.
I know.
You're
It's been
12.
so long. I know.
Ah, as I live and breathe. Well, we can still celebrate maybe a little bit tomorrow.
Okay.
Just for tradition's sake.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you? She sort of she asked you to grab that. She
I
says,
run. I trot all the way over and return.
You said your necklace, the one that you've always had.
Yeah, it's broken.
And is that bad?
I think so.
Why?
They tell me it's bad.
And that's good enough, I suppose.
Well, Seeker has never done his thing on me where he sees what my body is doing, but he did the thing and saw that my magic was going all the way through.
I love the image of like Alma sitting on a little stool and just like she's just not like just taking all of this in, and she's like absentmindedly preparing food and pouring drinks.
So we don't actually know if the necklace changed that or not, but basically there was something with the necklace that kept people from finding me, and when it broke, it meant that people could find me, and that's why Brother Brim could find me, and so maybe that's why people couldn't find me when Brother Danewind sent people, because the necklace kept people from finding me. But now it's broken, and now lots of people can find me, and apparently lots of people want to kill me, so, or like, take my magic, or...
It's not as I live and breathe, and she holds her little spoon up.
Yeah. So we need to fix the necklace, and Brother Brim said that maybe it came from here. But I don't know. So we came back here to try and fix it.
Well, I for one am just so happy to see you're back.
Yeah, me too. I'm a little nervous.
Why are you nervous, dear?
My last couple of days here were not very good. And I'm a little worried that it's not going to be good to be back.
The last few days after you left, weeks after you left, they weren't very good for anyone.
Because of what I did?
No, dear. Not because of what you did. Abbot Cain was not good for this place. And in the wake of your banishment, Brother Danewind, well, there was a fight. It wasn't because of you. It was the culmination of, I think, a long time. But, Abbot Cain left, And it was just a long recovery is all. But it's better now. And it's better for you having been here. Better for you having come back. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. But I don't know if I can stay.
Why not, dear?
Well, me and my friends, we have to repair the world. And I can't do that from here.
We'll talk about this more later because I don't know if I accept. Come now, help me with the plates. And she hands you, and you can see she does not appear to accept your argument that you can't stay. But she hands you and ladens you down with plates, and which you take with the deft practice of someone who did this many, many times. And walks you out into the back out into the common room. During which time, I'm going to switch back over to some other folks for a little bit. You all are you can seat yourselves. There's several open tables, and you are able to find seats. And I mean, is there anything you guys are talking about or discussing or doing during this time?
I think at the notice of all these random trinkets and knickknacks and, dare I say, souvenirs, I would like to kind of just excitedly almost squeeze the souvenir bag that's stashed around my my body, and I will just kind of just almost see that the group has sat and got a table or got situated, and I will just start walking around and just looking at all of the things and just trying to imagine what the story is behind each one of those little trinkets and items and souvenirs, and if anything, I don't know. I'm not really looking for anything. I'm just kind of inspecting some and seeing what's around.
Yeah. As you look around, I mean, I the sheer variety and number is I cannot describe. There is just there are balls of yarn. There's there's just a bunch of things that appear useless. Would appear kind of useless. There's thimbles and weird knickknacks and just things like toys, children's toys. There's all kinds of different things. As you look around, go to make an investigation check for me.
6.
Nothing it's almost overwhelming. There's nothing in particular necessarily that sticks out to you, but as you're sort of looking around and you're just kind of taking it all in, the half-orc gentleman who's sitting, he kind of just has the mug in his hand, and he flips through a page in the book. He goes, "I'm to understand that if you take something, you must leave something."
Oh.
And then he looks over his spectacles at you.
I'm just still in awe. I'm just looking. A trait?
I suppose.
Are these all your things?
Gods, no.
Whose are they?
Travelers.
They just leave things here and...
Seems it's a bit of a tradition. So I'm told.
How long did it take to get like this?
I don't know, son. I've been here a short time myself.
How rude of me. I'm Flynn Fellowweave, and I'll hold my hand up for a shake.
Eirik.
Eirik?
Eirik Ironheart. Nice to meet you as well.
What are you writing?
Studying.
Magic?
Less magic. Herbs. Poultices.
Huh. For potions?
Amongst other things, yes.
I know someone that might want to talk with you.
Really?
Yeah. She's got a lot going on, though, so...
Well, feel free to send them on over.
So how does the trade work?
Well, you take something and leave something.
Do I have to verify it with someone before?
Well, you might catch the swift side of Rosie's spoon if you don't, but...
Okay, so run it by her then?
I think that's safe.
Okay.
She's quick with it, I'll tell you that.
She seems fiery. See, we're Well, no, that doesn't make sense.
Indeed.
Well, I'm gonna take a look around.
Enjoy.
I'll make sure to run it by her if I decide to swap anything.
Just kind of grunts.
And I'll continue just looking around until food is brought to the table.
Awesome. Seeker, Thessaly, anything?
We're all sitting at like one table?
Yeah, just one kind of big round table.
Okay, I'm gonna, with very like square shoulders, still looking like I'm frustrated, I'm gonna sit down next to Seeker if he'll let me. And then immediately drop my composure, and if you let me, I will reach over and just take your hand very gently.
I'll allow it.
I'm sorry.
For what?
Don't. You know what? Don't make me say it.
Words are helpful. For what?
I'm sorry I got mad at you for dying. Stupid.
Yes, it does seem silly.
But
I appreciate it. It's okay.
it's just... You make me say the second part too, or can we leave that as unsaid?
No, you should probably say it.
And with like half a grimace, half a grin, like I'm a little more happy to say it than maybe I normally would be, because I'm happy he's here. I need you to stay alive. I need you here. Okay?
I want to be here. It was actually... I don't remember. We kind of made a pact when we joined.
We did. You said no dying.
No
and you've come
dying.
closer than I have multiple times, and Seeker, it is scaring the absolute everything out of me.
Yeah.
I don't like being scared. I'm not usually scared. I don't do scared.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Maybe the little one was right.
I know it's not
I'll
your
do
fault.
better.
It's
I
just,
will find a way to die less.
No,
To get hit less.
I just... If it comes down to it, just pick you. Somebody's got to pick you. Someone besides me. I'm going to get to you as fast as I can every time.
The bad people seem to pick me.
Taka, that's not what I'm... Jokes and quips. All right, fine. I said what I needed to say. You heard me.
I whipped my attention over to Brim. I wasn't close to everyone. How did you find me?
I saw you. Saw you fall. You should not do that. Sorry. No. I just mean... It wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't fun. And thank you.
Anytime. Sometimes I don't travel with people that often, so you guys are pretty cool.
They are, right?
Yep.
I was alone for a long time before Thessaly over here.
Hi.
And then meeting them. They're kind of inspiring.
If you mean like inspiring fear, yes.
Well, that a lot of things. Confusion. Wonder. More confusion. But there. What is Flynn doing?
You look, and Flynn's just like just bug-eyed looking around at all this stuff.
I'm also, given the private nature of their like once I sort of notice that is what's happening, and also because I'm like avoiding eye contact with Thessaly, I will also be sort of roaming the room and looking at the doodads, knickknacks.
Go to make a perception or investigation check for me, please.
As I look at Flynn and see, like, oh, it kind of seems like he's looking around. I want to grab my sigil on my chest and cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
It's a 17 for
17? Okay.
perception.
As you look around, you see...
My eyes kind of glaze over with
Yeah.
the purpley
Cool.
plasma.
You see a couple of things. Ping. You see what appears to be a really pretty ornate goblet. It's about this big. And as you look at it, it's like up on a shelf, but you can see just above it, there's like froth. Like you can, it looks like it's full.
Huh.
And it's sitting up on the shelf.
Does it look full to just to me because of the or it look
like
full?
if you were to point it out to someone, it looks full. Like it's just full up there.
You see that? That is
Thessaly is, if you look to where Seeker points, you see
that mug.
a full goblet. You also see what appears to be sort of just like resting on the shelf, kind of propped up by a small wooden stand. You see what appears to be a long quill, like a feathered quill. You also see just like almost just tossed on another shelf, unsummarily. You see a like very ordinary looking wooden spoon. You see off in a corner, kind of almost thrown on a corner in the ground, like on a little, like next to a barrel, just kind of thrown in the corner. You see what looks like a very well-worn pair of boots, about knee-high or so. And you see like a stitching on them. It's hard to tell from this distance, but you can see they're like, it looks like there's like black stitching on them. And then the last thing you see is Kellic approaching what looks like kind of sitting on like a little stand that displays it. You see a silver amulet that has tri-rings on it.
Oh, man. But it's silver.
I believe, well, what color would it be?
Gold is traditional.
Gold. Then it would be gold.
Okay.
with the tri-ring.
Okay. Huh. What kind of shape is it in?
It appears to, it's almost itself like, how to describe this? It's like three circles kind of gathered together. And each of so there's three circles, and then within those circles are the three tri-rings as well.
I more mean has it been well kept, or is it in disrepair?
It's got a light layer of dust on it.
But otherwise,
otherwise it looks, it's just got dust on it. It maybe looks a little pitted, old. It looks old.
Who would leave this behind? I'll pick it up just to look at it and see if there's anything, any engraving, anything like that. It's uncommon for there to be something like that, but I would just try to see if there was any way I could tell, any more information about it, I guess.
As you pick it up and look it over, there does not appear to be any engraving or anything like that on there. You pick it up though, and despite the sort of the pitted look of it, it feels weighty. Like you're like, you kind of look at it and you're like, no way. This is heavy. Like it's
the real deal.
It's real gold.
Yeah.
And when you pick it up, I think immediately you understand it's magical. Like you understand almost immediately it's magical.
Oh man.
As he's looking at it, he hears in his ear, "Hey, that one is magical."
I know, Seeker. I'll look over my shoulder back towards Seeker. What kind of magic?
Divination and demon.
That's got that demon blood.
Demon blood.
That made me.
Demon blood.
It appears to have. It's mostly evocation.
Cool.
Evocation.
It's worth a little bit of surprise. Look back down to it. Okay. All right. Huh. Through use, and I'll just cast mending on it to try and restore it to what it to a little bit of its former grandeur.
Yeah, as you do, you cast mending, and you see the faint like pockmarks in it restore, and you see the dust kind of fall away from it. And as the pits are kind of cleaned and almost polished back down, and it appears more whole. It's still got like an element of that to it, just like it looks old.
Yeah.
But it repairs a little.
Other than I thought. Huh. I didn't hear this conversation earlier. I don't think. How loud was Flynn's conversation with this half-orc gentleman?
Talking.
I would say
I don't know how big the place is, though.
It's not a big
It's a
place,
small
so
place.
it's relatively small. And with Calyx's passive perception, I think you heard all of it. Being because you're. I don't think you can really be more than like 60 feet away from anybody in this common room at any given time. So.
Know what I have to leave for it. And I'll open up my bag. It was a bit dangerous, but I guess meet the moment. And I'll pull out one of the big rings I got in the swamp. And I'll just place it in place of this, and I'll take this amulet.
Okay.
And I'll walk back over to Seeker. I think you could, when you get a moment, take a closer look.
Yes. What did you just do to it when you said that?
Oh, just repaired it a bit.
It's like at this
Dim?
point now it's not dim. At this point now with Calyx's spell, it just like it almost looks like there's just spots that have been like rubbed out of the gold,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you know when you see like something really old made of metal and there's just like divots and kind of like bits that for what maybe it was part of the forging process, it could just be aids.
It's also just like, you've seen me, I don't know if you have, maybe in the very early times we were together, you would have seen me caressing my amulet, running my fingers across each ring individually in a sort of like ritualistic manner. So there would definitely be some wear from that kind of use.
Yes, I can. After I get some ale, I will
I gotta get you.
take a look. I almost died.
Right.
And, as you say, I almost died. At that point, the back doors open, and you see Oma coming out laden with trays. As Rosie comes around, and as she gets to the table, she looks and sees it in your hand. She goes, "Now, I hope you left something for that young man. I know everything that is on these walls. Make no mistake."
Well, thank you for calling me young man, and yes, right over there.
You're very welcome. And you point, and you look, and she kind of looks at it, and her she.
He's not young.
Yes, he is.
Seeker, I
I'm
think
perfectly young, Seeker. Is there? And I'm actually look around.
By the way, young man, if you're calling him old, what are you calling me?
You look like a spring hen.
I'll accept that. And,
I like quirking eyebrow Seeker.
She doesn't look like a chicken.
Oh no, it's not. That's not.
like
Okay.
a chicken. Now, Miss Olma Marsk has told me precisely about all of you, and for now,
Oh no.
my approval is given. For now, subject to my withdrawal at any time I choose,
Well, we hope to maintain your approval, madam.
as you should. And she goes and starts putting out all of the drinks and food and things like that. And you see a very warm, basic. It's akin to like a curry, like a very sort of like. There's like a grain underneath it, like a wild rice kind of. It's very aromatic, very like brightly colored, and it smells amazing. And it's steaming and hot. And then she passes out mugs of ale and water. She keeps grabbing things off of your tray and setting them out as almost. She turns to you, Oma, and she says, "And here's yours, my dear.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. Now, you're here. Oma has alerted me to what it is we're doing here. It sounds like we have a necklace that needs fixing.
Yes.
And I trust that whoever's looking after Oma, you are all ensuring they don't find her.
Protect her with my life.
To the best of our ability.
Always." And she pulls Oma in, like close to her. Good. And she kind of squeezes your shoulder. Now, eat.
As
That
that's,
sounds amazing.
as
Was there
that's
anything-
happening.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Thank you, Rosie.
You're welcome, dear. And she bends down. She gives you a kiss on the forehead. She ruffles your hair a little.
Ruffle.
Start digging into that food.
Mm.
All right. She says, I'll be right over here if you need me.
Okay.
Gives you a wink.
Lynn, you should check out that bug.
Well,
It's magical.
that one over there?
Yeah, that one.
I'll look at it. Does it look like what you said? There's something coming out of it, or at the top of it?
Just
it looks
like a little
Looks
bit
full.
of froth at the top, yeah.
What kind of froth?
It's hard to tell from here. It just looks like a bubbly foam of some
Does it look
kind.
like ale, like the ale foam, or is it different?
Different? It's like clear almost. Like it looks like bubbles.
It's very high.
You'll say, how high up is it?
It's probably like up on the rafter. So it's probably like 8-9 feet off the ground, something like that.
Okay.
Here, give me something.
What?
What?
Give me something.
To exchange for it?
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking through my bag and like I don't know. I mean, like all these things have stories connected to them, and I have to tell them, and I need the item to tell the story.
That's not true.
Well, it's like it helps. It's part of it. It's like a whole. This is where I got it from. So I was looking through my bag and like I have some acorns, but I don't know if that's enough
For a
for a tankard.
goblet full of something?
I mean, I don't even know what's in there.
Oh, so I think you've got quite the array going, Flynn. It seems I don't know if you need to acquire anything else other than what you have going on.
Don't listen to her. You need the mug.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Why don't you get the mug, Seeker?
I don't want the mug.
I'm curious about
Why
it
not?
now.
It kind of seems like you want the mug.
I want
I'll,
something else.
While they're bickering, I'll reach into my bag, and I'd like to pull out a magical wooden hand that I have in my souvenir bag.
Yeah.
Dude, how many episodes have you had this?
Fucking hand.
Like this was like
early
We
on.
or
never
something,
use
right?
it. Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
No, we use it every now and
You're
then.
digging
This
in your
was
bag.
the first
Yeah.
magic item you guys ever got.
Yeah.
I think so,
what
yeah.
does it do?
It's awesome.
You're about to find
It does
out.
one task. Oh, for 24 hours.
Yeah.
If you're digging through your bag, is it possible to see in your bag or no?
I don't know.
Like I'm
not
looking.
Sure, I don't think so. This is something that I wanted to talk to you about, but
Yeah.
like,
I remember.
I think that maybe it's magical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say no, right? I just kind of put my hand in and I pull out the hand. I pull it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't really necessarily see me
Got it.
like pushing through. I just kind of reach in, think about it, bring it out.
Mhm.
My hand. And I just have this wooden hand, mannequin hand in my hand. That's weird. And I will look over at the mug and there's a little button I believe on the hand and I will press it.
Mhm.
And I'll say, "Go get that mug and bring it to me." And I will like hold it up like this.
Yeah, as you see it the hand kind of springs out of your hand and it lands on the ground and it like runs across the floor and then it finds and it just kind of climbs up one of the ceiling pillars. You see it kind of make its way up, just like jumping from thing to thing, and then it eventually makes its way up onto the rafter, walks across, grabs the thing, and then it kind of like sits there and like and it like tries to figure it out, and then eventually it settles on grabbing it, and then it kind of like waddles over to the thing. It's a whole process. This takes like 5 minutes.
I'm just watching
And
it.
it
as I'm eating.
eventually what it decides on is it flips over this way and then sets the mug on like the flat of the hand and then like crawls down the wall very slowly until eventually like, and then it kind of sits on two hands, walks over until eventually and then it like just stops at the foot of the table.
And I will kind of, as soon as it gets within reach, I'll reach down and pick it up, and I'll pick up the hand, and I will look at the mug more intently and more closely,
Yeah.
and just see what it is.
It just looks like a pretty like mug. It's a goblet, so it's
It's a goblet,
kind
right?
of it almost looks like it's colorful. Now that you see it close up,
Uh-huh.
it almost has like that what's that word? That like scintillating quality of, you know, like oil on water. You know that there's a word for it.
Iridescent?
Thank you. It's like iridescent. I love that word.
That's a good word.
It's got that like pearlescent, iridescent, kind of like shimmering quality to it. It's like a bronze underneath, and then on top of that, it has that iridescent quality. And you just you see, and it's just got this like frothy liquid in it.
I smell it.
Okay. Okay.
You die.
You should drink it.
Need you to
Taka!
tell me about one of Flynn's favorite childhood memories.
Oh.
Like, is this like do I get like a flush of nostalgia or something?
When you smell it, it smells like it immediately, like the scent of it immediately takes you to a memory. Like in the way that smells are linked to memory that way. Like you smell it and you are in a place. Like it's so clear. I have an idea. If you
want to take it, go for it.
As you smell it, you get a big whiff, and it smells like the sea on an early morning in spring, right before you leave Maple Glen with your mom to go across the bay to make the trip.
And I probably have, like I did every time, just like this immense feeling of excitement and wonder and belonging. Just like sitting on that cart with my feet kind of dangling off the edge, kind of like kicking back and forth, just like watching as I see the town get smaller and smaller. And I probably just remember the smells of the forest, and as I'm kind of like rolling along, and I kind of just hop up and kind of like climb over, and my mom's obviously focused on riding the cart. I just kind of sit up next to her and kind of nuzzle in a little bit as she reluctantly puts her arm around me and just like pulls me in, hugs me a little too tight.
Yeah.
And
you feel her like jack arm as she grabs you and like pulls you in tight and kind of squishes you.
Grabs the reins again of the cart and kind of continues on. And I'm almost kind of just stuck in that memory as I kind of slowly fall asleep in her embrace.
Cool. You guys see Flynn just kind of like the wistful smile come over his face as he smells the frothy liquid inside of it.
Flynn?
Huh?
Flynn?
You okay there?
Taka, why would you tell him to... Flynn, are you all right? You don't know what that is.
Smell it.
It was
Definitely
What?
smell it. Smell it. It's good.
It smells good?
Just smell it. It's really good.
I smell it.
If I may, or do you want to take
Yeah, I have
Take it.
something.
Go for it.
I am immediately thrust back to the first time I gave my younger sister like spending money, and she came home with a pile of brand new books. And I remember she ran up and shoved like the first one in my face and had me smell. And told me that this was her favorite smell was a brand new book.
You smell that smell of like vellum and parchment and old leather, and you remember the sound of her of saying that like, Thessaly, smell it. It smells. This is my favorite smell. And you remember the sound of her voice and like this excitement in it when she put it into your nose and opened it up. Look, ready? And then you got that kind of whiff.
My eyes get a little watery.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's making
What
her
is
sick
that?
too.
No, it's not making me sick.
Did you think of something?
Yes, it was like it like called me back to
Yeah.
a memory.
Me too. Kind of like it was nice.
What happens if you drink it?
I drink it.
No.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
fantastic.
You said it. Wisdom
demons are
save.
thrust out?
It purges it.
Total of 20.
Total 20.
Oh.
Nothing
Yeah.
happens.
Does it taste? Do I taste? Does
Yeah.
it taste like anything?
This is weird. It's like it tastes like the smell, like the way it smells, but it's like it doesn't taste like ocean water.
Right.
It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's magic. It tastes like the memory. Like it tastes sweet and like thick, and it just when you drink it, it's satisfying, and you do feel like kind of an urge to laugh a little bit, but you don't. Yeah.
Flynn?
I mean, it tastes good.
Oh,
Do you want to try it?
I mean, if you and kind of like intoxicated by that very happy memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If no one stops me, I'm gonna take a drink
I'll
of
hand
it.
it to her. Yeah.
I'm just looking askance at all of this.
I was just saying, what is everybody else doing? But
Yeah,
you're eating
Yeah,
your
I'll
drink.
hand it over.
my
Yeah.
curry.
Okay.
I'm
As
just
you
very
hand it out.
skeptical.
You, as you drink it, you also can make a wisdom saving throw, or you can choose to fail. It's up to you.
I think I would choose to fail.
Ooh.
That
Yeah.
was a.
Into
I don't
it.
remember stuff like that very often.
All right. As you drink it, it sort of like tied up in that memory. It smells like, or it tastes like the space, like the feeling. It's sweet and satisfying. And as you feel that sort of like kind of an urge overcome you, you choose to fail the wisdom save, and you start laughing and laughing and laughing. For the next minute, Cecily has uncontrollable fits of giggles.
Are you okay?
God,
Cecily, what?
Seeker, what have you done?
She's laughing.
Yeah, Seeker, what did you do?
What do you mean? What have I done? She's laughing.
I like shove it under
What?
Seeker's nose while I'm
What?
laughing.
Does he breathe in?
What's wrong with?
What does Seeker smell?
Ooh.
I'm over here like sitting next to Kellic, like
Like, what are these goons doing?
eating my soup, my curry.
A good memory.
You have so few. Okay.
It starts. Oh man. I see myself surrounded by a whole bunch of mean-looking people with weapons drawn. And I hear a voice. And Thessaly steps out from the crowd and stands in front of me. And I'm lost in that memory.
What does it smell like? Petrichor.
It smells like what does it smell like? It smells like fear to start with. And sweat. And my lip is busted, blood. And then hope. And love. And sacrifice.
And you remember the feeling of Thessaly's aura for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
The way it washed over you. And that's what it smells like to you. You're in that moment for just a minute.
This is. I love magic. Magic. She's
I like it less and less the longer we travel together, Seeker. I
she's
must be honest.
experiencing something wonderful. You should.
Honestly, it is pretty
I'm
great.
okay.
No, it does not look wonderful to me.
It puts
Just
you.
don't drink it. I
I'm
think
glad to
that
see her in better spirits, Thessaly.
Have you ever heard her laugh?
Yes,
Yeah,
I make
no,
her
it's
laugh
very
all the time. Well,
what?
I
You-
do. What? I can't even make out what she's saying.
It gives you a wonderful memory.
It does. Yeah.
It puts you in a good place.
And
We
then-
could all use a
and
good
then
place.
you lose your
Well,
mind.
just don't. I think
shortly thereafter.
so when I drank
It's
it, I
about
kind of
this
felt.
time that you feel the urge, like
I go like,
And I pat your
I'm
back.
embarrassed. Like the red doesn't. I stop laughing, but the red doesn't leave my face.
Maybe just don't drink it, Kellic.
That
Don't-
seems wise.
Don't do that.
And I'll I don't know if Seeker lets me, but I'll take it and I'll like kind of like hand it over towards Kellic
Yes.
if you want.
I mean, you all seem sane enough. Won't take a sip, and I'll smell it. I have something.
I was just saying, if you've got it, take it.
Yeah. And I smell that musty, sort of damp smell of old wood in the
Mm.
priory,
Mm.
and being seated at a table in like an old, dank library, and unfolding a piece of parchment. That's a letter saying that I'm invited to Dawn Pillar Temple in Addersfeld. And just the like feeling of like exhilaration of that revelation, and that feeling of promise. Finally, I can make my mark on the world, I can earn my place in the temple, and that I'm doing good by Famir. And just that moment of just like being alone in a library looking at a piece of parchment.
Yeah. You remember the wood, the smell of the paper, the books, the old leather, the exhilaration, and feel the weight in your hand, the amulet. As it tries to make a connection with you.
Oh?
I will allow it. I would connect, yeah.
You attune
Mm.
to your amulet of the devout.
Oh?
Do you have an attunement slot?
I do.
What is that?
This amulet of the devout of Famir, you gain a +2 bonus to your spell save DC.
What? Yeah.
He's already like maxed out too. Gee.
You can use once per day your channel divinity without expending a use of the feature.
Ah!
And it has one additional property. Whenever you roll for a healing spell, you may add your wisdom modifier twice.
Whenever.
That's
Whenever you add your wisdom modifier to a healing spell, you add twice your wisdom modifier instead of just
And
once.
is that like on a charge or that's just in general?
All
So I
the time.
just double my wisdom modifier for healing. What?
Is that in the thing?
So
Sick.
good. Okay.
I'll send you the description
Please.
later.
Yeah, no worries. Nice. I will just like
As you-
marvel at
You
this.
see it sort of flash, like the silver light emanates, and each of the tri-rings, each ring, lights up in its disparate color, and you feel that connection settle in as you attune to it.
Do we see
Oh,
that?
wow.
You guys all see the amulet flare.
I'll just nudge Seeker briefly and just be like, good memory.
Good memory.
You're not wrong. This is some good stuff. I'm not going to drink it. Alma, do you want to?
I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know what came over.
Nothing.
Very charming,
Smelling it
honestly.
safe.
I'll
think
reach out
is
and
the
pet your
problem.
back. Nothing wrong with laughing.
But it was a little improper. It was a little.
Hey, we're
I don't think you
under
have
the
to be
influence of-
proper around us.
I guess that's true, Flynn.
As Kellic hands you the amulet, or the goblet.
I'm gonna put it down on the table. I'm
You don't-
okay.
That's okay.
Hey.
Maybe this is something we should trade for? I don't know.
Do you want to carry it
don't-
around?
Know if we need this.
I think the occasional
It was kind of nice.
good memory is nice, but something like this, you could sit there sniffing it all day. I don't know if it's a good thing to
I
have.
don't.
Well, I'll
Too
put
much
it back
temptation.
for now, and I'll just kind of get up out of the seat and I'll take the goblet and
Do
I'll
you want me to put it back, Flynn?
no, and I will grab my little wooden mannequin hand and I will walk over and I will reach it up and I'll also press the button at the same time and put it back and I'll.
It can only do one action for 24 hours.
I don't know. I don't have it written down. I think it's just like it does the same thing
It does
for
the
24
same
hours
task over and
until
over.
I
Oh, so
stop
if
it.
that's the
Yeah.
But I don't
So-
think you can ask it to do something else
So
within
if
that.
we do the
I
same thing
don't-
again and again, can I just tell it to do it again?
I'll say,
Or we can
It's
just
also like
change. It doesn't
there's
matter. It
not a
doesn't matter.
stat.
It doesn't matter.
It's
It doesn't
not
matter. It
enough.
doesn't
There's no
matter.
hard and fast.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean,
harmless.
I can bring it up.
You push the button again, and you're able to. Yeah, the hand walks back.
Yeah,
up
once
the
a day
wall.
I'll repeat a task. So I guess it's up to you.
Yeah, it's a simple task.
Sure.
It's a simple enough thing. So yeah, you just tell it to put it back as
Yeah.
opposed to
Mhm.
taking it down, and it climbs up the wall, sets it back, climbs down, and then jumps back into your hand.
Put it in my pocket or put it back in the bag. I'll have to do another look. Seems to be a lot of cool stuff around here.
Yeah, there's more.
Where?
I'm gonna eat first, and then
Okay, yeah, good idea. And I'll go back and I'll drink some more of my ale.
Guys all settle in, eat your dinner. Rosie comes back out at some point, stands next to you. So, rooms for the evening?
Yeah. Yes, please. It was a long journey here, so I think we could all use a bed for the night.
All right. Well, and she just kind of reaches behind her. She pulls out, she pulls out 5 keys, and she just hands them to each of you.
Yeah, did Brim go off to his own place, or is he still here?
Yeah, so actually, that's a good point.
And Griff.
Yeah, Brim and Griff.
Griff, yeah.
Griff is just kind of like leaning up against the wall. He's keeping a distance away from everybody, but he's just watching, like very closely.
Yeah, and Brim has rooms, so he doesn't need a room.
Brim has his own quarters in the monastery. But Brim does say, he comes up to you guys and he says, my brothers and sisters will want to know that I've returned. And Brother Danewind will want a report.
Okay, but don't
Maybe be a bit stingy with the details, I suppose.
I can't lie. Not to Brother Danewind.
What about by omission?
Maybe just be vague. You know, you don't have to tell a lie. You can just
But what if he...
not be specific?
Yeah, I don't want him to kick me out when I just got here. It's so cold outside, and I want to just be able to sleep.
I don't think he'd kick you out again.
Well, you don't know that.
I don't. But we're going to have to find out sometime, right?
But maybe in the morning.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Oh.
Say...
I want to use Tides of Chaos.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
22.
Oh.
I suppose I could say I was too tired and wait until the morning.
Let's go.
That would be nice.
I am pretty tired. I didn't
You
sleep
didn't
last
get
night.
to sleep. You did.
You didn't.
You did a great job with the heat.
Thank you. I'm glad it kept you both warm. I'll wait until the morning.
Thank you.
Should we head in the morning? You know, because we're going to stay here and you're going to go somewhere else. Should we reconvene? Should we expect you here? What? How? What are we doing?
I think we'll just let you find Brother Danewind on your own. He'll be
In
easy
the
to find
morning?
tomorrow.
You want us to just go to the sanctuary by ourselves?
Brother Danewind won't be in the sanctuary tomorrow.
Where will he be?
He'll be in the middle of town
Okay.
for the lantern lighting.
Yeah.
Right.
You can find him there.
And that's the way we'll get to the Brightwall
Okay.
through Danewind.
I could take you there, but not without his permission.
All right.
Mm.
Well, we'll get it then, one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be all right, Oma.
Maybe.
No, it will.
You've got us this time. You didn't have us last time you were here. We're going to make sure things go well.
And no matter how he responds, he'll still have us. So, it'll be all right.
Okay.
Good night, all of you.
Good night.
Brim turns, walks out.
As Brim gets close to the door, I take a vial of ink and throw it at the back of his head.
Go and make an attack roll for me.
Does he catch it? Does he catch
Roll an initiative. Yeah.
Well,
Go-
missiles.
yeah.
it? Okay.
That was a journey.
That was a time.
Journey. 6.
6.
Huh?
You throw it and it goes a little wide, like it's like 4 feet, like 3 feet out from him, and he just.
And then I rub my left ear. If anything goes astray, let us know.
He takes it,
Have a good night.
tucks it into the blue dragon scale belt at his side.
I am watching this intently, and I want to see where was the subtext of that interaction?
Seeker.
I'm watching Seeker.
We heard him say it, right? He has to say it out loud.
You have to say it out loud. And I
Oh, you
said
did,
it.
but I saw you throw it, right?
You did see
I
me
saw
throw it.
it. I don't know what he said, but
Well, no, you did.
oh no, I do.
You know what
because
I
he said
said?
it.
Because I have to say it, and I didn't whisper it. I just.
But I guess
said,
I'm watching your face, and then I'm watching having spoken to Brim earlier, I'm looking for something specific.
What are you
let me
looking
ask,
for?
what are you
I know
looking
exactly
for?
what I'm looking for.
I know what he's
Best
looking
friend.
for.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking as best friend. I am looking to see if there's crush.
Oh.
So as Brim catches the vial, a smirk hits my face, and as there is seriousness in my message, and also like a friendly lightheartedness that you would
Okay.
read as you will.
I just see that, and then I smirk to myself, and I don't say anything.
Now the whole carrying back to the group is taking on a whole new meaning.
You guys didn't. Okay.
No, I know.
Takes it, tucks it into the belt. I'll be in touch. And he walks out the door. And as he does, he walks past Griff, who's just kind of standing there. And they didn't have much interaction, the two of them, but they just nod at one another. Absolutely set. Yep. And Brim exits as Griff's eyes just kind of settle on all of you.
Where are you gonna stay?
It's an inn, Flynn.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't get a key.
He just points like what? He doesn't say anything, but
He can stay at the inn.
I know, but we didn't get a key for him. Do we need to get?
He can get his own key.
Okay, why are you upset?
You just shouldn't ask people where they're going to stay as if, like, this is not a place where people can stay.
Well, I don't know. Like, you seem like you like the outdoors more. I thought maybe he's staying outdoors. I don't know.
In the frigid cup.
he kind of like,
See?
but it's like, I could use a warm bed.
Okay. Do we need to get him a key then? Because I mean, we didn't pay, and I want to make
just
sure.
He's a
yeah,
grown
Rosie
man,
like walks
Flynn.
over. And, Rosie, and you're like, do we need to get him a key? And then Rosie's like, I'll handle it, dear.
He's with us. I know he's standing far away from us, but he's with us.
She walks over.
We're
and she-
technically with him, I think, because he's guiding
Right?
us.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But she hands him a key, and he just sort of stretches, rolls his shoulders. I'll, now that I've gotten you here, I'll probably head out in the morning. And then he just kind of looks at you.
I'm so glad I met you.
Me too, kid.
Maybe when I'm back in the town, I'll find you. And we can practice arching, and you can teach me how to use the bow and arrow.
Should be done by the time you get back. And he reaches up and he taps the branch that he's been whittling away at.
And I give him a hug.
You run over, you give him a hug. He like, and then Alma, you feel it, like his hands like kind of tentatively at first, but then he like kind of does hug you. And to you guys, Alma doesn't see it, but he just kind of like closes his eyes, and then just finishes the hug. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And he walks up the steps, goes to his room. You're all left there in the common room. And unless there's anything else that you all would like to do.
Eager, you said there were something else that you saw?
Yes.
Where?
Oh, Flynn.
We're not going anywhere, Flynn. We
on
can
the
look at them
wall.
tomorrow.
You guys can go to bed. Seeker, do you want to go to bed?
I feel pretty good.
Or what if someone what if someone comes in and takes it while we're sleeping?
They
And
won't.
it's like, oh, we really wanted that, you know?
I don't think you can just walk in here.
What do you mean?
Can anybody walk in
I
here?
mean, we
No.
literally walked here.
Right, with Brother Brim.
Okay,
One
but
of
other
the
people
highest-
come in here, obviously, and I point to the
Sure.
plethora of things.
But it's, I don't know, I wouldn't commit a crime here, would you?
No, but I'm
Looking
going
at the place.
to trade for it. I just wanted to know what other things are. Maybe so that'll help me pick what I want to trade.
Yeah, I'll point to the quill. I'll point to the boots. I won't point to the boots. I'll point to the quill. I will point to the wooden spoon.
Okay.
The quill and spoon. Gotcha.
I'll go up to the wooden spoon.
Seeker's like, I want those books.
I'll go up to the,
Yeah, he does.
I'll go up to the
You're
spoon.
already sneaky enough. Oh my god.
You can never be too sneaky.
As he dies, where no one can find him.
I sneaked myself to death.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll go up and take a look at the wooden spoon really quick.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if I can notice anything from it, but
Now pick it up. It's a very plain wooden
it's
spoon.
a spoon.
Yep.
Why?
I just know what's magical. I don't know why.
Oh, it's
why a
magical.
goblet?
I can. If you give it to me, I can. You might want to trade something, and then later I can.
What if it doesn't do anything cool?
It's
Then you can trade
magical.
it back.
It will do something cool.
Know how that works? I'll look to Rosie if they're still here.
There's no
See?
take backsies.
What does this
Oh,
do?
sorry.
Do you know?
There's
You
no
knew everything in here.
take-back.
I know what it is. I don't know what it does.
It's
Look
a
at how many
spoon.
things are in here.
There's
It's a miracle I remember most of them.
Christ. I don't.
Wait, can I?
Every choice in life is a gamble, Flynn.
Don't I know it?
Can I cast spells through my mage hand? I think I can.
Interesting.
Uh,
A spell that has the range of touch, I would say no, because your Mage Hand Ledger Domain doesn't specific. Unless it says you can cast
Is that?
touch spells with your hand, which I don't know that it does.
But I think that's.
I don't. Isn't that like
Also touching it right
it's
now.
something
It's a
else.
wizard thing.
Yeah,
It's something
yeah,
else.
it's an arcane. Yeah. I
Or
don't-
trickery domain cleric does that. Too.
Yeah, Trickery Domain Cleric you can cast through one of the duplicates
One of your dupes,
granted
yeah.
by your channel divinity. I know that. And
But I don't
familiar,
think there's a
you can
mage
cast
hand.
through your
And
familiar.
familiars, yeah.
You can cast through your familiar, but I
but
don't.
not a mage
I
hand.
don't believe you can do. Through
I
your
will. Yeah, I was thinking of familiar. I will grab the spoon with my mage hand out of your hand,
There you go.
Now you'll
Okay.
feel it.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'll bring it over, and I will. Instead of doing a ritual, I will touch it, and
Why do we all have to use hands to grab things? We have feet, we have arms. I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Well, Flynn used a hand to go and get the
Well,
cup.
because it was
and,
too tall. It was too high.
and now Seeker's using it to grab it from Flynn. Like, I just don't understand.
Sometimes they like to show off their little
Oh,
tricks.
okay. Is that what it is?
Yes, it's just a little bit of
Okay.
flourish,
and I
grandstanding.
touch it, and I cast
I
identify.
love that. That's maybe like a private little aside.
It is.
Why? I
100%.
love it. I love it.
I cast identify.
All right. This is a mending spoon. This seemingly ordinary wooden spoon has an enchantment that allows it to mend small cracks and imperfections in broken objects.
Wow.
Once per day, the moon can be used to cast the mending spell.
The moon?
The spoon.
The spoon?
The spoon, but
The moon.
The
moon can be
Ending
used.
with a
The
spoon.
mending spoon. So it's a mending spoon. You can cast mending with it once a day.
That's cute.
I will float it. I will have my invisible hand float it back over to Flynn, and it fixes things.
Mm-hmm.
If you have something that's broken, for the most part, it can fix it.
Okay.
Touch yourself with it. Joking.
I don't think that's
It
how
makes
that
like just a
works.
hollow of that on your head, and that's it's like boom.
Still broken. Just kidding. I'll set it back down,
Mhm.
and I'll kind of just like look at Seeker, and then I'll look at the quill, and I'll look back at Seeker. I'll look at the quill.
What?
I mean, we're about to go to bed. We're about to rest.
Can I do it in the morning?
But then you wouldn't have.
Okay, fine.
Awesome.
Seeker, you can say
You get
no.
the quill, bring it over. Are you gonna ritually or cast it?
I'm
with
gonna
a spell?
cast it.
All right. This
And
is a-
but as like I walk over to it and I look back as Steph says that, and it's like, I don't have a choice. It's magic. I have to.
Yeah, you want to know.
amazing.
I roll my eyes.
I must know what it does.
This is a whispering quill. This feathered quill, when used to write, magically transcribes whispered secrets or thoughts the user holds in their mind onto the parchment. The words appear in a faint, ethereal script, visible only to those attuned to the quill.
Huh.
Actually, wait, that shouldn't say attuned. That's not an attunement item. It appears only to the possessor, I should say.
The right whore?
The right whore.
The right whore. The
I don't
awful whore.
understand.
Wait, what
Say that
happens?
again?
Yeah.
So this feathered quill, it's basically like it's like a telepathic quill. You think and it writes.
Oh.
And it writes in a script that is only visible to the person who is using the quill. So like if one of you were to write a note on there,
Yeah.
it wouldn't appear to anybody else except for you.
Wow.
If that
Huh.
makes sense.
So I guess it's the way to like take notes and
Private
stuff.
notes.
Private notes that no
Yeah.
one else can see.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Hmm.
It's like a mental
It's
note.
not attunement, but like the way that it works is like if you lose the quill, you still see your notes, but then you can't use it anymore. If that
Right.
makes sense.
Ah.
Anything
Yeah.
written with this quill by you
Mm-hmm.
is visible only to you.
Right.
Huh.
Would
And if two people were fighting over the quill, it's a charisma check to see who gets dominance
Oh.
on it.
the
Yeah.
all right? Got it. You can write with your mind.
That's kind of cool.
Very cool. Only you can read it though.
Still cool.
Like a really private journal.
Mm-hmm.
Super duper private.
I'm gonna
Yep.
poke around,
Uh-huh.
DM, and see if I can find anything like a mirror, like a small mirror, or something that is especially like shiny or reflective.
Absolutely. After a while, you actually find a small sort of what looks like a cigarette case almost. And you see emblazoned on it is a raven and a half moon. But as you open it, you can see that the inside of this, like the inside of it, is like polished silver. And as you see, like you can see your own eyes in the reflection. It's like mirrored on the inside, basically.
Like a compact,
Kind of, yeah.
like a cigarette compact. Like cigarette compact, like opens and closes.
Exactly.
Is it? Can I tell what it was used for?
As you open it, there is like a single cigarette in there, like it's rolled in like black paper. It's very old, but as you open it, you can smell the tobacco, and you see like little tobacco leaves scattered in there.
It'll do in a pinch. And I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I'll just take a something else then, and I'll just walk away.
You sure?
No, I was doing this as promptly
I'm
as I
sorry.
could.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do keep looking, there's a potential to find something else. It's just the first thing you come across.
Sure.
As you look, it takes you the better part of a few minutes. There's lots to comb through
Yeah.
in here, this is just like the first thing you saw that was like very bright and stood out to you. But eventually you do find what appears to be just like a hand mirror, like a very ornate, very beautiful. As you pick it up, it's like looking at it. The metal doesn't. It has the look of silver, but it's like brighter. And I'm trying to think. Has Kellic ever come across mithril before?
Oh.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
As you pick it up,
Wasn't Grom's armor mithril?
no, that was like
it
a
was a
black iron.
I see, I'm
Yeah. But you see, so then to your eyes, you just see like a very like bright silver looking mirror, hand mirror.
Now we're talking. And I will trade this out for my radiant sickle.
No way.
Oh.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Huh.
And I will do this as discreetly as I can.
Yeah.
Though I will, like, if I can catch Rosie's eye, I will make a big display of putting my sickle.
She like does the thing where she's like,
Love Rosie.
I love it.
You gotta watch that one.
she does the
That's the
like
one.
peeking over the ball.
Yeah,
Nods
that's
to
the
herself. She's like, but yeah, so you leave hanging there your sickle in place. It was kind of like on a shelf, just flat, a little higher up because Kellic's pretty tall, which you gather maybe is part of the reason why no one really noticed it. But you just saw like that edge because it was like flat.
Right.
So you just kind of saw that edge, and that's why it takes you a little longer to find it. But eventually you do pick it up, and there's like a cobweb on it as you pull it up. It appears to have been there for a long time, forgotten on one of these higher shelves.
Okay.
But yeah, you set your sickle down in place of it. It takes you a minute to like find the space because there's just like so much stuff. But yeah, you have this like beautiful silver mirror.
You mentioned that there was a bunch of yarn.
Yeah.
Is there like pink and
Blue and yellow.
and yellow?
Oh, if that's something that you are looking for,
Yeah, it is.
there's throughout the place you find Actually, you probably find like an assortment of fabrics. I don't know. You could find yarn, but you also find like a silk handkerchief that's like a bright yellow with kind of like a paisley blue pattern around the edge. You find what appears to be a pink, almost like a rolled up, like not quite a rug, not quite a tapestry. Actually, Seeker would recognize it. It's a prayer mat, like in like a pink silk.
Yeah.
As a holy man himself.
I would Yeah, I would walk over to it. I'll walk over to it and I will reach my hand into my bag and produce a cloak. It's slightly smaller than the one I have. And I will trade it. And were one to look, the inside of the cloak has two chains emblazoned on the inside of it. 2 links of a chain.
Or leaves that behind. See if you fold it up, put it on the top. I'm very curious. Does he try to hide it?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's a relatively small room, and as Seeker goes over, I would say that probably Thessaly, Flynn, you're too distracted.
Okay.
Looking around at stuff, but I think Thessaly, because she tends to keep an eye on Seeker, and then Kellic, just because of your passive. The two of you notice Seeker do this.
I don't really take notice though. Like I see what he's doing. But I don't like draw attention to it or
same, I think.
Yeah. You just take note of it. Yeah. That's up to you what you do with it after that. But you fold it up.
Yeah,
place it there.
Put it out. I'll carry it to the room.
Once again, from the bar. Keeping an eye on things, making sure people aren't getting shisty with it, taking something nice and leaving something.
Right.
Since I'm there, I feel like I have to go touch the boots and figure out what they are.
Yeah, you do.
Fair.
Like I got to do it.
Okay.
You got it.
I got it.
We need to know.
I can't not know.
All right. Do you cast Identify on them?
I do.
All right. The sable wind boots.
Ooh.
While wearing these boots, you gain advantage on dexterity stealth checks made in dim light or darkness.
Get out of here.
You're gonna die.
Like he needs advantage.
Sable wind boots.
It was so funny. I was like putting all this stuff. I was like, they're never going to look at any of this shit.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Don't you know us?
Skip stuff.
I guess that's true.
We are unpredictable.
We are.
That's fair.
I will. Oh man, I will take a ring off of my.
Oh.
And kind of weigh it. And I'll set it down. I'll find like some kind of like a ledge.
Yeah.
Or like I'll replace where the boots are. The boots hanging or are they on?
The boots are like on like a low, like they're basically tucked against a barrel, just like kind of in a corner. So they're actually not on a shelf or anything like that, but there are just like shelves everywhere. So if you wanted to like place it on a shelf, you do see that there is like one of the things that's there is just like a little open, what appears to be a small wooden box that's just open. There's nothing in it, but it does appear to be like a little jewelry box of some kind nearby, like basically on the shelf at eye level.
So I'll put it in the box, and before I close the box, I'll just say, "Thank you, 86. But I think I'll just be me for now." And I'll close the lid.
Whoa.
And I'll take the boots.
Wow.
That ring. Wow.
Awesome. You leave the ring. And the sable wind boots are now yours.
I tried it. Do we all see this?
Yeah, I'm not hiding it. And I'm not whispering or
Right, and we all know what the ring does. So I'm gonna like catch Rosie's eye and be like,
She's just like,
And I like mime that ring.
Yeah.
It's like, and I put my thumbs up like that's like a really good ring. And
she kind of conspiratorially gives you a ring. In the vault, baby.
just so that Rosie gets the fair share for it.
Absolutely. She's not gonna let anybody just give anything for something like that. Awesome. She and as you look, she's like, she nods conspiratorially. That's funny. Awesome. Fantastic. And you leave the gift you received from 86 here in the Peak's Respite, in the little box, in this odd as you all partake in this ages-old tradition that it looks like of the Peak's Respite. People who come to the end of the road here and trade something of theirs for something of someone else's. But yeah, it is there in your possession now, and the night kind of wears on. Eventually, you see the little at some point during all of this, the Kenku individual made their way up and just like said, kind of opened their beak, and you hear in this very deep like, "Good night, Rosie," in a voice not befitting this Kenku at all, and then walks up the kind of flaps one at a time up the stairs. They're a little too big. They're very small. And then eventually, as well, with a sigh, the half-orc gentleman sort of closes the book, grabs his mug, and heads up the stairs until eventually it is just you all in the common room as you finish the last bits of your meal.
Is Rosie still down here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Rosie's behind the bar.
Before I head to bed, could I just walk up?
Yeah, of course.
You said that you saw some of... I'll tap my shoulder pad. Us here before?
Mhm.
Did they leave anything? Did they trade anything?
Not that I recall, dear.
Okay. Well, good night.
Good night.
I'll head to bed.
Kind of watches you leave.
Good night, Rosie.
She walks over to you. Good night, dear.
See you in the morning.
I'm so glad you're back. She whispers that into your ear.
I'm so glad to see you.
Gives you a kiss on the cheek.
I will hand a gold piece to Rosie. Thank you for the boots and the hospitality.
You're welcome, but your friends of Oma, your money's no good here, dear.
Oh, okay. I put it on the table.
She doesn't fight that. Oma's got to make
I'm only going to say it once.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to fight you.
Don't make me repeat myself.
She's an innkeeper, after all. All right, and so Flynn makes his way up to bed. Seeker makes his way up to bed.
Yes.
Alma as well makes her way up to bed. Each of you have your own rooms. This is not a crowded place. So
I'm going to go up to my room as well. Real quick before I go to bed,
Yeah, of
I
course.
would really like to pull out my sketchbook. And I'm going to spend an hour before bed, and I would like to do a full sketch and ink, color of Olma and Rosie embracing
Cool.
for the first time as I remember it.
Awesome.
And I'm going to roll for that and see how good that turns out.
yeah, go ahead and roll your choice of you add your proficiency and then your wisdom or your dexterity modifier.
Okay.
Your choice.
Oh, I can do wisdom?
Yeah. I believe that skills vary depending on the person.
Yes.
Like some people have a natural affinity for drawing things. Other people, through much practice and care. You could also roll a performance check if you'd like. I'd allow that.
Really?
I think drawing is a performative art.
Yeah, I'd love to do performance.
Yeah, I'll let you make performance checks for
Paladin,
drawing.
calm down.
And
If you spend an
if I
hour,
spend an hour, I get my proficiency bonus too, right?
you get advantage if you spend an hour.
Oh!
Okay, that's okay. That's what I'm saying. That's fine.
It's not a hastily drawn sketch.
This is going to be so beautiful. It's a 25.
25. As you sort of finally, you in full ink, you sort of take it back and you sort of wave it gently as the ink dries. And you look and you even the shading, the way that the firelight fell across the back of the walls, the different sort of depths of this space, and you capture the crinkle, that half look between overwhelming joy and that slight bit of sadness in Rosie's eyes, as like the sadness of remembering the time where Alma left, but the joy of now having her back, and you manage to like capture that as you see her face and her arms wrapped around Alma, as Alma's feet are like just starting to leave the ground.
Love that.
But it's a beautiful sketch.
I would like to I want to distract myself. We all have our own rooms, which I'm not super used to yet.
Yeah.
And I'm a little like nervous. So I want to distract myself by trying to translate some more of the Elvish.
Okay.
Of the ancient Elvish.
Ooh,
So I've
yes.
already spent 2 hours on it. And so I don't know if I can spend
Forgot
another
about
2
that.
hours on it.
Absolutely. I would say, you can write down another 2 hours. If you wanted to stay up a little later, you could add 4.
Yeah, I'll stay up.
Yeah.
I need to distract myself until I'm tired enough to go to sleep. So yeah.
Absolutely. So Alma in her room, like after another 4 hours, it's like you start like at some point you just kind of do the thing where you like stop. And then
Yeah,
you like
you're
look
like,
back up and
your
you're
eyes
like,
are-
you literally are like translating and writing, and then you kind of nod off and then you feel your chin kind of dip against your chest, and
Yeah.
then eventually you're like, okay.
Okay.
But yeah, you can add another 4 hours of downtime to deciphering the scroll, as these sort of arcane symbols and some of the old Elvish phrases begin to clarify and make their way. I will say at this point you're starting to gather a little bit about what this scroll might be. It appears to be a sort of like protective benediction.
Okay.
A rite almost.
Okay.
Some of the arcane symbols, like you're starting to kind of piece together things. You're still quite a ways away, but
Sure.
like
Yeah.
the general gist of these first little bits is starting.
Yeah,
to
is
get
like an act
like
that
a ritual,
a
or
ritual
something
that can
like
be done to
Yeah.
for protection.
Can I say, like, as I get to my room and close my door, I'm like, oh, and then Kellic, in your head, you hear, Kellic, I'm in your head. Hello. Could we reach out to Nalfin at some point soon?
Right. Sure. I'll do it tonight. I'm still at the table, just like nursing my curry. just giving it the last bits.
Mhm.
Please be okay.
Oh.
Ajungis, and I will cast sending.
Mhm.
And Nalfane, how do you fare? Hope the ride is safe and pleasant. Have you made it to Marstock?
This spider's awesome.
You scare me.
I'm at the surface. Don't know what Marstock is. Spider's awesome. Crazy trip out. Tell you about.
Yes, he's okay.
Yay!
Just a light sigh of relief, just a slow exhale.
Mhm.
And I will take my dish to the bar, and then I will. Could I trouble you for a bit of water? And I'll pull out a little basin
Mhm.
and I put it on the counter.
She grabs like a pitcher, pours it in there.
Thank you kindly. Everything ready for tomorrow? I understand there's a bit of celebration to be had.
There is. Yes, I think you all will enjoy it.
Good. I could use a cheery occasion.
I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Glad to hear it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then I'll take my bowl upstairs.
Kellic.
Aye.
Hear Rosie call your name,
Yes.
and her voice takes on a hard edge. That girl has had more than her fair share of bad luck. And I may not look like much, but if you don't keep her safe. And she just leaves that hanging there. You seem like a good man. I hope, for your sake, you are.
Couldn't say it better myself, Rosie. Been making this promise a lot lately. I'll keep everyone safe. And I'll look after Alma. You're not the first person I've promised that to.
See that promise stays unbroken.
Aye.
And dear, don't forget to look after yourself either.
My cup runneth over. And I sort of gesture with my bowl and I head upstairs.
You head upstairs. Go to your room. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'm going to, is there a window in this room?
Mhm.
I'm going to, if there's a table of any kind, I will move that to where the window is.
Mhm.
There's no light in the night sky, correct?
No, but as you face out, the window faces east.
Oh, okay.
You do see that, like, just the faintest sliver of a different shade of blue.
Mhm.
A different shade of, like, that deep purple of
That
the
indigo,
night sky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, like, just the beginnings of something.
Mhm.
But you do see it.
I will set the mirror up, like I'll prop it, so that it is catching whatever light comes from that, and try and arrange the bowl so that that light is directed into the bowl. I will look down into the bowl. I await the stars, the souls of light welcomed by the night sky. I await the moon, envoy of the sun's light, that those souls may bask in a softer glow. I await the sun, the lady's glory, endurer of darkness, deathless beacon of hope. I haven't prayed to you in a bit. But I believe in you. And maybe that's because I must. But I don't care. Someone told me recently that it's okay to choose your own purpose. And that's true. And maybe my purpose was chosen for me when I was young. But it's not anymore. I choose your purpose. And maybe if it's true what they say and you're going away, then it'll become my purpose. May the light reflect from my eyes.
As you finish the prayer, you look down into the water. You see a star streak across the sky. And we'll pick up there next time. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you had as much fun as we did. Bye, nerds.
Bye,
nerds.
That's beautiful.
Love.
Hey nerds, Russ here. If you're enjoying Venture Forth, please like, follow, and subscribe on whatever platform you're using. And make sure to tell your friends, and your family, and the person walking on the side of the street, all of those things. Just yell out that you love Venture Forth. And if you're interested in going the extra mile, please check out our Patreon. There's a link in our description. It really supports us as a whole. We wouldn't be able to do it without our patrons. And you get access to some really cool bonus content. So if you want to see us off the screen, off the podcast, doing silly things, that's where to go. Bye, nerds.